The fentanyl strips are something that's, did we deal with this 2 years ago, or was it last year for the first time?
Well, last year there was a bill that was dropped by Representative Chris Bell. You know, as chairman of the Drug Policy Committee, I could have brought the bill out, but I had my hands full with the medical cannabis last year and didn't really get into the fentanyl testing strips. I'd not heard much about it, and this year it's completely different. You know, I've talked with Colonel Stephen Maxwell of the Mississippi Bureau of Narcotics, who's in favor of decriminalizing the fentanyl testing strips. I've talked to Sean Tyndall, the head of the Department of Public Safety. He's in favor of decriminalizing fentanyl testing strips. I have got letters from the Mississippi State Medical Association, from all these different doctors, who tell me that this will save lives, and this is something that we need to do. And basically, we're not talking about mass distribution of these strips. We're not trying to encourage anyone to use illicit drugs. We're just trying to make sure people don't die when they make a mistake. A lot of times these college kids, they go through a season in their life where they're not thinking as adults, and they make these decisions, and sometimes these decisions cost them their lives. And a fentanyl testing strip would simply be a way for them to maybe make a better decision and live to fight another day. I know there are a lot of parents out there who've lost children who wish that their child had access to a fentanyl testing strip.
Lee, explain a little bit how they wound up on the paraphernalia list, because if we know that, then we can kind of understand how where we are.
Well, these are not available to the public, so the only people that have fentanyl testing strips, as far as in circulation, are the drug dealers, the ones who are manufacturing the drugs. And
where do they get them?
They were created in the same way that a pregnancy test was created, and they're used in a similar way. Basically, you dip it into. Originally, it was a urine test, and it comes up, positive or negative. And the fentanyl, I guess the drug dealers were trying to make sure that they didn't, kill everyone that they were selling to. They were trying to put in a certain amount, but there was no way to make sure that was a standardized amount in each pill, and we wouldn't want them to do that anyway. But when the narcotics agents would bust these illegal drug dealers, and they would see the scales where they weighed the drugs, and they would see the testing strips where they were trying to get a certain amount of fentanyl in the drug, they would just book it as paraphernalia. And so it was another means of adding a misdemeanor to the drug dealer. But what we have is an opioid crisis across our country, where last year, 2021, 100,000 people overdosed and died. In Mississippi, we had 237 deaths in 2020 as a result of fentanyl, and 280 deaths in 2021. So it's gone up almost 20% in 1 year.
Wait a minute. Last year was 220 what?
280 deaths in Mississippi. Fentanyl.
Directly attributed to fentanyl itself, or?
The number of deaths involving fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
Increased from 237 in 2020 to 280 in 2021.